Hiya everybody, good morning. This is Emma from STEM Pro. It's 6:30 in the morning, so I thought I'd get up like everybody else does at 6:30 in the morning, and I thought I'd show you our land. Now I'm going to dedicate this video to an excellent group that's sadly closed recently, and that's the Almanzora Valley Gardening Club, which me and my family have been members of for about 10 years. We've met some absolutely amazing people. We've done a number of talks in the past. I've done one, my mum's done one, I think even my dad's done one. So we've actually got 2 wells on this land. I'll venture up to one shortly. Sorry, the light's terrible because the sun is not even up yet. I'm going to take you to the reservoir first. Now, the reservoir was actually built by the council about 6 years ago, before we actually moved to the property, and they abandoned it for some reason, which was ace, because every time it rains now, the animals around here have all got a source of water, which I'll show you in a minute, because there's loads of activity around there over night time. Now let me just tell you a little bit about our land. So I'm just walking up a hill. If I get out of breath, it's because it's a lot of hill walking. Yeah, when we bought the land, it was completely barren. It'd been so over farmed, the land was completely grey. I will give you an example of what it looked like in a minute. We've got about 27 hectares of land. We've got about 3 hectares around the main house. The fields around the main house have got almonds and olives. I'm not sure if you can see it. 1 minute. So that's our house there. Then you can see the trees, and they're all ours. So all this bit's ours coming up. I'm out of breath already, I'm so unfit, it's depressing. Everywhere was grey, and when we actually moved here, you couldn't even hear a bird. It was really sad. There was no life here at all. You can probably see it better from up here actually. We decided to keep a small amount of land for us. Though I say that, we love animals, and as soon as we realised that the animals were moving back in slowly, because we left the land back to them, and within about 2 years, wow, the difference has been amazing. The amount of birds, foxes, rabbits obviously out here, and wild boar, we get deer, we have ibex now, where before we didn't have anything at all. Now the birds has been amazing. Every single year we either have new bird species arrive, or I think birds like the goldfinches, they've just increased and increased in the last 3 years. So we have loads of goldfinches now. We have green finches, we have eagle owls, in fact we have got 2 eagle owls, and once again I'm not sure what the light's like, but they sit on top of the electric pylons, and every night you can hear him. Ooh, it's absolutely brilliant. So that was a terrible owl noise. Now our land we bought off one of the Spanish old girls who actually owned most of this land around here, was about 80, and when she was showing us the land, she was skipping around like a teenage girl across these mountains. She used to be a goat farmer, so she was super fit. So she showed us, I think there was actually more land, I think there's about another 5 hectares, but honestly we'd been out for about 8 hours with her and she wasn't giving up, but the surveyor and we did, so that's where we ended up with 27 hectares, but she still said there's more. Anyway, this down here, I'll start from here. So to the peak of this hill here, then you go down where you've got the V, I'll show you in a minute because we've got a full valley over there. Then you come to the peak of here, and it basically just comes down the side, and all these terraces are ours as well. We've got almonds and olives. In fact, we actually had several attempts of a 20-metre vegetable patch by 5, and 3 times as it was getting to that peak, You know, that time when it's just ready to harvest. The boar came and wiped it out in about an hour. So, and that happened 3 times. It didn't matter what we did. At the end of the day, boars, they are like tanks. And if they want to get in somewhere, they'll get in. And they did. So we give up, unfortunately, and we just ended up growing veg on our balcony, even though we've got all this land. But yeah, the boar really did move in. Just move my camera because you can't. Oh, there you go, that's a bit better. That was a terrible light. We kind of left that. I've actually gone far too excited and walked completely past the reservoir. This is the reservoir here. It was actually originally built in 2 parts, but like I said, they give up. I'll take you down and I'll show you the boar prints. I come up every morning just to see if there's any more. We've got a big water container which we're going to put outside the house because we do like to have sources of water at certain points of our land because we know the animals that come. And here, when it gets hot, it gets very hot. Yesterday I think it was 38 degrees. But now we've kind of reintroduced all the wildlife back. I think sometimes you have a sense of responsibility, and you know, we love animals, and it's not a big deal if we sprinkle a bit of food here and there. We've got a couple of tables set up further up the land, little feeding stations. We don't continuously top them up. I think it's really weird, but the animals kind of know. We always make sure we've got water though. Doesn't matter where, we always make sure we've got water for the animals because that is the biggest killer. So I'm going to take you down to the reservoir now, and let me just stop. Can you see all this? That is wild thyme. Absolutely beautiful. We've got quite a few wild herbs on the land. Wild thyme, we've got a full mountainside of rosemary. What else have we got? We've got fennel, lavender as well. We have asparagus that comes up. We don't have wild garlic here. I wish we did because I'd pick that all day long. Yeah, have you got wild garlic near you? If you have, pop your comment in the box below. Let me know whereabouts you are. I'm just interested to see the difference in what I naturally grows here to where you are. One of my favourite, I have to say, these grasses. They're so lovely. But, as most things out here, a bit of a bugger, excuse my French, when they get into you, because these grass seeds are lethal, especially when you've got pets. They cling to the fur and they just bury themselves in the skin. They're really nasty things. Right, here we are, coming up to the reservoir now. Excuse the dog, that's another story that I'll get into on another video. But yeah, she's just making sure I'm safe. She's a very good girl. Right, already here. Right, sorry, I know I keep chopping and changing. You're probably used to this if you know me, you know what I'm like. This is a prime example of what all our land was like. You see how, I know there's the odd bush about, but this soil, that dead soil, is what our land was like. And now, I know it's not unbelievably green, but you've got to bear in mind, we live in a desert region in Spain. It's not Wales or Scotland or anywhere that's full of rain. So this is probably as green as you're going to get it. And I think for out here it's pretty beautiful. See, the sun's not even come up yet. Now, I don't know if you can hear in the background, but when I said every year we get new animals, oh, I was so excited. This year we got a, right, see if I can say it right, a Eurasian Arola. They're a yellow bird with black markings. They almost look like a bird of paradise. Never even heard of them. My mum sent me a message, and it was a video, and she'd actually caught 2 males performing and actually attacking each other. But what an amazing sight. I think she got about a minute of footage. Now, unfortunately, she was on full zoom on a camera because my mum's pine trees are ridiculously tall. But, I mean, you caught them. It was a little bit wobbly, the footage. But once again, it was so fantastic to see because not only at my mum's, it was the first time last year that they arrived there. Now, my mum lives about half an hour away from where I do. I live near Taberno. And this year, they've arrived at my house. I did some research. They love oranges apparently. So I've hung loads of oranges in the tree. Sorry, my light's gone again. The sun's not up yet, so I have to keep stopping and changing the camera. Right, this is the reservoir. And you can see from the side that my dog really likes water and it's really muddy. Oh, I'll just go and show you where she is. What are you doing? She did have a bath last night. But anyway, more interested than my dog getting absolutely disgustingly dirty, so I have to bath her again. Stop having so much fun in the water! Here we go. All these boar prints. Excuse the dog. She's messing up all the boar prints. Another boar print. I mean, they're absolutely covered. And they go right in. Oh, you're absolutely covering me, Millie. Look at the state of you. There, more boar prints. More boar prints here. Let's go and have a look round here. Yeah, so we have about 30 wild boar now that visit our land every single year. When we first started, there was a couple, and once again, year on year, they've just increased in numbers. This year, we've actually put video cameras around the house because that is how close they come. They actually come right in the fields, right outside the front door, right outside where we sit. So we thought we'd put some video cameras up. We obviously know what they eat because we've had farms. We'll put some corn about and just see what happens. It'll be really good if we can capture some on the cameras. That'll be excellent. Right, Millie. Shh. Thank you. Oh my goodness me, you are very dirty. I think she thinks it's really hilarious getting me up at 6 for a walk. And then this is like just to add to it a little bit. But she's having fun, so who cares? So yeah, so this is the reservoir. What have we got here? We've got swallows coming in. I can hear the bee eaters flying overhead. And the arola, that's what I was talking about that before. It's arrived here. So I haven't seen it yet, but wow, its call, I'll play it on this video. So I'll go like this. Do that. So yeah, absolutely beautiful birds. Not quite seeing them visually myself here, but they're here. They're in my trees. I can hear them. I did actually mistake. Well, I was so positive it was them because I've got my bird net identifier, which is excellent. And the other day they confused me because I saw a woodpecker as it was making its call, but when I checked, I knew it wasn't a woodpecker because I actually know what they sound like. But I thought, I'm getting so excited about this new bird again. I do this. I get very excited. But it's a new weed, a new flower, an amount of birds that have arrived, and there's an increase. I get excited because I know the babies have all survived and fledged brilliantly. Because you hear all the birds come in. And when I see them, these babies with them, we've had I know sparrows are everywhere, but they are cute little things. We have had 3 sets, got a pipe outside the house, and they love it. And every year, that's where they go. Right, Millie, come on. You're all dirty. Look at this state of you. So yeah, it's really nice. We love the wildlife, so thankfully, even when they eat all my veg. But even when I was at my mum and dad's farm, at Olive Tree Farm, as many of you know, the animals themselves did all the work. My mum and dad didn't need wild boar because if the goats escaped, or the geese got in, or the pigs got in, my dad knows my feeling on how quickly one's vegetable patch can be eaten. So, but they always look so proud of themselves, like it's all right, we've fed ourselves, thank you very much. As me and my dad start crying. I think I've just showed you this. This is a bit more. I'm going to go up to the peak now and I'll show you the valley. That was a flock of starlings. And I know we all see starlings, but we've got a slight leak on one of our water pipes. It's been there for about a week. And I tell you, the animals aren't daft. They've flocked in. I'll show it you when I go back down, because it's too far to walk now. And God, I'm out of breath, sorry. I am quite high up now. Okay, you ready? Now, oh, it's ours as well. So we've got a full valley, all terraced, overgrown, as you can see, because it's not been cared for in the way as humans, but it's certainly been looked after by the animals, because once again that was barren grey, like down at the water deposit. And it's alive with birds. We've seen foxes down here quite a lot. I've seen ibex on the cliff faces up there. But I try and video stuff. I've been trying for 4 years and it's not gone well. That's what I was saying. We've got a leak near the house. So all the birds have absolutely taken full advantage of it. All this time we've been bringing the wildlife back. I've really kept away. I've just been dying to film it so I can share it with others. And trying to catch even a sparrow on my camera has been near impossible. However, you all right, Millie? However, the leak has brought the birds in. It's really hot, so I took advantage of that, and before they came at 5 o'clock in the morning, I set my video camera up. Now I get about 2 hours filming on it, and the last 20 minutes I have a lot of film stuff to watch when I film, because I might do 6 hours in a day and just leave my camera in certain places. So we have wildlife TV at home, so I can see if I've caught anything. Normally we haven't, but we've caught some really, really cool stuff on my camera. Now, I will say, most of it's starlings. Up close, watching the behaviour was fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating. I'm just trying to think what else. Sorry, I just need a minute. There was a goldfinch on there, a magpie. Unfortunately, they're all common birds, but to actually capture them yourself on camera and it be, you know, pretty decent footage, I'm really happy, because it's taken such a long time for me to do it. And I've got so many friends and they'll post me this and it's, oh look, there's an ibex stood right next to the car. I'm like, how? Nothing like that ever happens. I have wildlife living on my doorstep and I cannot capture it on camera. But hey ho. Right, 1 minute, I've got a spike in me. Shoot. Right. I'll take you down on the terraces now, and then I'll show you our 2 wells. We've actually got a community well as now. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the little white house in front of that? I really don't know if you can see it. It's a tiny little brick building. That's where the farmer lived, and he's actually got another well of ours on his land, but it's, according to the old lady, she gave the rights for the neighbours, so it's just a community thing. The Spanish are very like that. Basically, we just give it to the farmer because he has no water there and we don't use it, so we don't like to waste things, and if somebody else needs it, then we will help him if we can. So yeah, so he's managed to irrigate all his trees, and they're looking really good. Unfortunately, a bit of monoculture going on, but I won't get into that. But yeah, his trees are looking really nice. So yeah, I'll go and show you these wells now. Now, once again, sorry if I'm waffling, I'm just walking. Tell me if you think this is interesting, because I get on one when it gets onto wildlife and animals. The 2 wells were hand dug by the old lady and her husband. And it was an amazing thing that they'd done. From the tops of the mountains, I'll just re-show you them. Oh, that sun has just come up, yay! Right. This mountain here, there are actually hand dug channels that go all through the land, and at certain points there's piles of rocks, and she was saying that at certain times of the year, depending on the weather, they'd put the rocks in place to stop the water coming down, because when the first rains hit, I think it was for 3 days, it brings up all the rubbish from the mountains, so the rocks stop that. The water can still go through the stones, but then they can clear the debris and then actually open it up properly. Absolutely brilliant. This dog's got too much energy. Thankfully, she's a cross mastin, so she's not very good at exercise. That's why I bring her out now, because it is far too hot. When I get back now, she'll sleep all day. It's probably till about 7 tonight. So yeah, this heat at the minute is ridiculous. Not that I ever mind the sun. I prefer the sun to the cold personally. It does get so hot out here, it actually does get quite unbearable. Especially if you're a Spanish Mastin with a double coat. Got some more trees here. That's what I was going to say. Our almonds and olives, by the way, even at the house, we just knock off every year now for all the animals. The rabbits, the birds, the boar, the ibex. So we don't have enough to make any kind of profit out of it. Just a lot of work for having a couple of bags of nuts, which we can do without killing ourselves, and then we can just bang them off the trees and we know the animals have been fed. Look at all the thyme. It smells amazing. Oh, another problem this year, actually it started 2 years ago, ticks. Right, I know especially where my mum and dad are, they've got goatmen and stuff, so they've always kind of had a problem with ticks. Not with their dogs, you know, but in the area when you're walking in the grasses, you know what I mean, when you've got ramblers. Never had them here. 2 years ago started, the other 2, 3 here even. And now the place is covered in them. So when I first noticed them, there was like 1 or 2, and now there's thousands of them, and disgusting things. So I'm just going to show you. I love these webs. I'm not actually sure what spiders. They're normally in like a funnel shape. Oh, in fact, there you go. You can see. I don't want to disturb him. Please don't eat me. God, I hope you can see this, because I'm being really brave. Can you see the tunnel? If you're not, I'll have a look at that so you can see that. Yeah, so every year, like I said before, get loads and loads of new flowers and growth. I'll show you one of them in a minute if I can see it. Sorry, I'm really bad with squinting. That sun is right in my face. Some of the other trees that we've got on the property range from about 100 to 300 years. Sorry, I've just tripped over a stick. And yeah, they're absolutely beautiful. We've pruned them a couple of times, but to be honest with you, once again, we just leave them to it. If the animals are going to have them and we're not, we're still producing fruit. I know you're supposed to prune them for the reason of increasing the fruit, but we don't need to do that. They give off enough for the animals, so that's all we care about. This is a bit more. I love these grasses. Can somebody tell me what these are called? I really do like these. Oh, now I discovered, sorry, I'll try that way again, that sun's too much. I discovered a new plant this year. Oh, I don't really want to go through that. See, this is like tick heaven, by the way. The ticks, watch this now, millions of them, but I can't even find one. They're probably all over Millie because she keeps walking through them. Right, I'll find one. But what you'll find is they'll sit on the absolute tip and they actually put the feet out. So when you go past them, they're on you. Very clever, not daft insects at all. Let me just go around this way, because this is where I found my new plant. You nearly had enough now. Come on, we need to find some ticks. I've just been going on about them and now I can't see any. Have you got any on you? You shouldn't have. Go on then, you go first. Oh, right. This. Look at this. It's like a work of art. It is absolutely Stunning. So if anybody knows the name of that, could you please tell me? Yeah, it's really pretty. I'm a total rubbish gardener, by the way. Well, as you can see, I'm a bit behind on my weeding. And I'm terrible with identifying plants, but if I have a new plant, I home into it. I'm like a homing pigeon for plants. Or prints. If I see certain prints that, wherever I walk, I'm always looking, rabbit prints, deer prints, wild boar prints. I'll follow them to a certain extent, and then, yeah, just to kind of see what directions they're all coming in. And to be honest with you, there's two. There's one from where the valley is, where I showed you before, and then over to the right of the valley. So they do use, especially the boar, certain pathways. Now, I still haven't found... Oh, can you see him? Oh, God. That was some kind of cricket. Oh, that's what I was going to say. On my filming that we caught yesterday, which was excellent, we did... Oh, my alarm keeps going off. I'm already up. I've beat all my alarms. Yeah, we caught something excellent. Now, suddenly all the birds got spooked and flew off, but there was a noise, and I said to my partner, something's been attacked. That isn't just, oh, we've been spooked. You'll see when you hear the footage and you see it yourself. And when I slowed it down, now to be honest with you, it sounded really, it was a call of distress. It wasn't just a quick let's fly away. So I thought that one of them had been attacked, maybe by a snake, which is perfectly reasonable at this time of year. I've already seen them dead on the roads out here because they're sunbathing. We have loads on the land and lizards. So, you know, they've got to eat as well. Right, this is another little flower that I really like. See, it's really difficult. I don't actually know if you can see what I'm showing you because of the sun. I think you can. It's really bad. Let me just take the flower off. You see the flower? Oh, there you go. They are pretty. Once again, if you know that, please let me know. Right. So that's basically a quick walk round our land as I've waffled. These are some more of our trees. Terraces. All hand dug. So much work. Stone walls. I mean, these people really did graft. This bit I love. I love this tree. I love this olive tree. Isn't that beautiful? Ah, and this. I'm not joking. These really are the first time this year that I've seen some of these plants. Can you see these? Now, they're really spiky, of course, because we're in Spain. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if you know what they are as well. Right, we're coming up to one of our wells now. So it's a little bit tricky to get to. So I'll try and not fall while I'm trying to hold the camera as well. Right. Oh, they're nice. Oh, look at them. I feel like I know that. I'll have to have a look at them when I get back. They're beautiful. They're really nice. And just make sure you can see the colour. Right, they look quite light there on the screen. I don't even know what colour you'd say they were. Blue, purple. Not sure there's a poshy name for them. Oh, I've come the wrong way. I'm not very good at holding this camera and keeping to my paths. I'm making life very difficult. Like my morning hike isn't bad enough that I waffle so much that I get lost. Right, just over there. And up here. See, I do love walking around here, but wow, everything's spiky. You come back and you've got gashes on you and all sorts. You've only been for a gentle walk down the ramble. It's not quite like England, walking through a meadow. And as I keep saying, I do insist on wearing the most ridiculous shoes. So I don't know if you found this interesting at all, but I just thought I'd give you a little intro. The Almanzora Valley Gardening Club, by the way, is sadly closed recently, but we've had some absolute excellent times. We've met some amazing, kind people. We've done a number of the Christmas shows there with some excellent people, and it's been a real laugh, and I'm going to miss it. So what I thought is, if I don't bore y'all, we can't come and do our talks anymore, but I'm going to do certain talks round here, and just tell me if you think it's interesting. I will admit most of it might be about wildlife, because I'm a bit animal crazy, and I haven't got my farm anymore, so I now take advantage of what's on my doorstep. Good girl, Lily. See, she knows. This grape has actually grown complete. Look at that. Look at them grapes. It's massive. Once again, we haven't pruned it, and it's just taken over the almond tree. It looks quite pretty. Right, this is one of the tunnels, as you can see here. So this is kind of the end of it. So if this is like the overflow, and then this would be another pond. So let me just, hold on, come down here. Oh, right, let me just put my phone down. Okay, right. So this is it here. Oh, poo. Oh. There we go. Stoning. Oh, don't tell the children. We're always saying, don't throw stones in the water, you'll block it. But this was hand dug. And obviously that was your bucket. And we have actually used it. It was a bit green, but needs must. Ready? So there's quite a nice amount of water, and it does go back fairly big. And once again, you just think, how on earth have you done that by hand? Amazing. So yeah, we've actually got 2 of these. So 1 minute, I'll just put the door back up. Yeah, so that was one of our wells, and we've, like I said, we've got 2 of them. What a lot of work. Oh, so there's more of them there. Oh, I'm loving it. Oh God, right, I've got to try and get down here now. Right, this will be interesting. Let me just hold you like that. Oh, I'm not as agile as I used to be, I tell you. We've got 2 pomegranate trees. Personally, I'd wish I had more, because I love the pomegranates. Look at the flowers on them, they're beautiful. And they're so good for you as well. I think that's what I might do and talk on actually next time, is what I've done before, but different. Some new herbs and benefits of certain fruits in the area. This one's slightly smaller, but absolutely covered in flowers. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, yeah. Alive with bees. That was really good as well, with us having the leak in the water pipe. The amount of bees and wasps. Oh, another thing as well. Don't know if you've had it near you. We had one of the beekeepers come round. He's got quite a few hives near where I live. And he was saying that the hives have been attacked by African bees this year. I don't know if it's happened previous years. They were killing all the honeybees. We were taking down the fencing off the old vegetable patch a couple of weeks ago, and my daughter actually got stung. Let me just change my camera angle again. There we go, that's better. She got stung in the back of her neck. She carried on about an hour later, got stung again. So I said, right, forget it. Anyway, when we looked into it, it's the African bees, and they chase you and they try to bury in your hair. So the advice is, you cover the back of your head, you keep quiet, and you kind of bend down into a bit of a ball. That's the method they tell you. I will say my daughter tried that twice after the incidents of getting stung, and she still got stung. So I'm not saying it don't work, but it didn't work that time. This is another one of our fields, and these are the ones that we just knock on. So the house is just through there, so you can see how close they come. I will now show you, hold on, my project for today. We've got quite a few figs. They're coming through nicely this year. There you go. I love the figs. Beautiful plants. Right. This is really ugly, but we decided to get a couple of fields ploughed, and I wish I didn't now because it just looks dead. In here, I've got a water tub. The leak's starting to dry. I'll tell you where the leak is. So I'm going to put a big water tub here because this is also the flight path for most of the birds. A lot of them live in my big pine tree there behind me. We've got goldfinches, collar doves and sparrows in the pine tree. And I think the Arola, the Eurasian Arola that's just turned up this year, has come because apparently they are drawn to big pine trees and ours is massive. And that's where my mum found them at hers. So I will put the noise in. I'll put a couple of noises in actually because you will probably hear all these birds all the time. It's not until you actually hear it that then it sticks with you and you'll be like, yeah, that's that. I'm terrible now. I'm like, I've always quit in my pan. What was that? Because like the great spotted cuckoo, oh, it's got quite a few calls. One, everybody will hear. Then there's a mating call. And then there's just the normal call to each other. But the attacking call, wow. And the cuckoos and the magpies here do not get on at all. They're always attacking each other. Right, there's my camera. It's actually turned off now. This is where I've caught quite a lot of bird activity. The leak has slowed down, but that's where I'm going to put some water in because this will stop and the birds are now relying on this. So if I move it just over, I'll just show you. This is another one of our fields. So yeah, it's only there. And this is another video I'm going to do. Capers. These are really, really lovely. You can actually pick capers twice. You can harvest them twice. You can harvest them before they flower and after they flower. So like now, for example, I can pull that out. Can you, sorry. And they're the kind of size you want them, but it doesn't matter. You can, I'm not going to throw them because I'm actually going to pick. You can have them this big if you want, and then you just pickle them. Capers go really good with fish, and they do because I've tried and tested it with salmon, and it was very, very nice indeed. So yeah, so this is basically, this is the edge of our land here. We've got another couple of fields over the way. Loads of capers this year. Unfortunately, it is all going brown now because the sun has arrived, and so has the cicadas, which sounded 2 days ago for the first time. I have quite a lot of knowledge about ridiculous things. If you've enjoyed this, anything that I've shown you plant-wise, if you could tell me what some of them are, I'm always willing to learn. That'd be great. And if anybody out there's got a really good plant identifier, that would help me loads, because I've put a few on my phone and absolutely rubbish. So I hope you've enjoyed the quick tour. She says it's probably taken about 40 minutes around the land. And yeah, I'll hopefully do a couple more videos like this. A big shout out and hello to everybody at the Almanzora Valley Gardening Club. I'm so sad it's closed. I just hope you don't mind if I carry on doing some videos for you, because I really did enjoy doing the presentations there, and so did my dad and my mum. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, more importantly, please do so. This is our family eco channel. We've got loads of exciting stuff coming up. You'll have to ignore some of the filming. We're still learning after all this time. But yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.